Night turned cold, and the stars look down, and you hug yourself on the cold, cold ground. You wake the morning in a strangest cold. No one would just see.
Mark Zuckerberg, please don't burn me down.
You ask yourself, who'd watch for me, my only friend? Who could it be? It's hard to say it, I hate to say it, but it's probably me. When your belly is empty, the hunger's so real, you're too proud to beg, you're too dumb to steal. You search the city for your only friend. No one would just see. You ask yourself, who could it be? A solitary voice speaking out, set me free. I hate to say it, I hate to say it, but it's
Probably me. You're not
the easiest person I ever got to know. But it's hard for us both to let our feelings show.
Mark's gonna kill me.
Some would say I should let you go your way. You only make me cry. But if there's one guy, just one guy, who would lay down his life for you and I had to say it, it's hard to say it, but it's
Probably me. Listen to the guitar. My favorite part right here. Man, that's beautiful. Any way you choose to cut it, that's beautiful. I bet you every ounce of monetary existence embedded within my pocket, I bet you anything, Mark Zuckerberg is going to flag me down for playing that song. Boy, I tell you. Mark, sometimes, listen, Michael Jackson used to call it being a slave to the rhythm. Sometimes you just have to succumb. Have any of you ever felt that way about music? You know, there's certain songs you play, they just reach down within the recesses of your soul. They grab you. And when they do, sometimes all you can do is succumb. I know Facebook has guidelines. I know that Facebook ever so often tells you that you cannot play copyrighted songs. Folks, it is copyrighted. It is not copywritten. Okay? Let's just get that straight. But every once in a while, even in the glare, even under the keenful, watchful eye of Facebook's guidelines, sometimes you just gotta break the rules, honey. Mark, please don't shut my page down. Please don't do that. Okay? I mean, I'm just kidding about all this, Mark. Come on, you know. Hey guys, how are you? Just a few shout outs to you before we begin. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few moments with me here on SML TV. I like the sound of that, you know. Those are bars, guys. I mean, I really should be on tour somewhere. I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. I should be on the road somewhere performing in front of crowds, sell out arenas. But instead, I'm here stuck at Simoson Building with CADAs, bus drivers, and disgruntled tenants. That's terrible. Okay, disregard that last bit, okay? Because these guys here, when these guys hear that I just said that, are you kidding me? They're gonna storm my office. I'm in trouble already. All right, let's get into it. All righty, Rancho Khaki says hello. We are not busy. We are unemployed. Bless you. I speak employment in your life right now. And I'm not joking when I say that. You know, things will change. Things will change for you. Okay. Oh, Cheryl, bless you. Bless you. So nice to see you. This is our dear friend, Cheryl, one of our regulars here. Many of you are regulars. Every so often, the thing about Facebook, especially when you're doing these live shows, there are certain people that pop up on a regular, and sometimes you can't help but notice them. And Cheryl is one of them. Thank you, Cheryl, for always being such a support, such a regular. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mpundu waku mansa. Oh, Mpundu waku mansa. That's where I'm from, incidentally. Did you know this? Did you know that that's where I'm from? We can hear the music, Vamware. We want to know the elephant. Somebody says it. Guys, I'm not kidding you. Mark's going to shut me down for playing that song. I guarantee you he's going to do it. You know, sometimes I think Mark just sits on the side of his bed thinking, I bet you that SML TV is going to break the rules. Let's rain on him. Let's just fall on him like a ton of bricks. Mark, please don't shut my page down. Please don't do that. All right, here we go. Jesse Power. You know, it is a beautiful song. You know who sang that song? Sting. Remember Sting from The Police? Sting from The Police. You know, the guy that originally sang. P. Diddy made it. He sort of reintroduced it to a new generation. But the original artist that wrote and sang the song, remember that song, I'll be missing you every night you say, I've been watching you. That was Sting. Well, he was in a group in those days called The Police. So he wrote that song. And then years later, P. Diddy redid it. And guess how much money Sting made from P. Diddy's rendition of his song? $5 million. See why it's important to have copyrighted music? You know, $5 million. Here it is. And then some guy named P. Diddy comes and he does a rendition of your song. And then in the mail, you just get a check for $5 million. Yeah, there's a reason I'm saying that. Well, when Sting left the group called The Police, he went out on his own, and he was a solo artist named, he called himself Sting. Okay. Well, he wrote a song for the movie Lethal Weapon 3 called It's Probably Me. That's the song I was playing for you. But the guy who sang the version I just played for you, his name is Gregory Porter. Oh my goodness. Talk about a vocalist. I mean, his vocal cords are like a musical instrument. Did you hear his rendition? Unbelievable. It's one of those songs that just gives you chill bumps, you know. Well, Gregory Porter sang his version of Sting's It's Probably Me. And I must tell you, I think he did an amazing job. I really did. All righty. What are we talking about today? Let's get into it. Today, we're discussing the elephant in the room. Do you guys know what this is? Are you familiar with this expression? Do you know what this means? I know many of you know this. And incidentally, before I go into this, some of you have been texting me saying, don't you know it's a holiday? Guys, let me tell you something. Guys, forgive me for doing that. That's just, guys, listen. You see, what you're looking at is you're looking at 46 chromosomes. Every single human being is made up of 46 chromosomes. Half of those chromosomes are female. You must know this. So sometimes when I break into like a head shake or something, that's the 26 chromosomes. Okay. So there's nothing strange about that. What was I saying? Because, when you get to my age, sometimes you just forget stuff. What was I? Tell me in the comments below. What was I talking about? Goodness, it's gone now. This is something I see all the time. This amazes me. This honestly shocks me. Every single time I see this come, honestly, I honestly think every live vlogger deals with this. Mr. Mwewa, can you just get to the point? Guys, I keep telling you, and I will say this until kingdom come, and hear me. Let this sizzle in your spirit. Guys, every story, I'm a storyteller, okay? That's what I am. That's what I do. I'm a storyteller. There is no way I'm going to switch on my camera and my lights and then just get to the end to appease you that are depleted of bundles, you that have challenges with bundles. I'm not going to get to the end of the show just to please you. It's like walking into a movie theater. Have you ever been to a cinema? When you get to the cinema, there's a sequence of events. You buy the popcorn, you walk in, you sit down, you chat a little bit. When the movie starts, the trailers begin. Then the film begins. Then it gets to the middle. Then it gets to the end. Imagine for a moment, you walk into the cinema and boom, no trailers, nothing. They just get to the end and they say, everybody died. You can all leave now. That's what you guys are asking me to do. So you guys that are constantly jumping on here saying to me, Mr. Amwera, can you please just get to the point? Just to say it so that we hear. Relax. Okay? Guys, for those of you that are bundle depleted, honey, you can catch this on the replay. Okay? Boom, there I said it. There, I mean, somebody's got to say it. You can catch this broadcast on the replay. If you don't have enough money right now to sit with me for 25 minutes, if you can't spare 25 minutes of your time just to hang out with me and hear me shoot the breeze, honey, you can jump off and get back here whenever you buy bundles. You can catch it on the replay. Okay, all right, let me get into it. Okay, here we go. Can we talk about the elephant in the room? Can we do this? This expression means, for those of you that do not know, it's not a literal expression, okay? Because sometimes you got to explain things. I don't literally mean in sofu munganda. No. That's not what we're saying. This is an expression. It's a common expression, and this is what it means. It means, I'm going to throw it up here. Stay with me. It means an issue that is obviously present, but is avoided as a subject for discussion. In other words, there's something that obviously needs to be addressed, but everybody knows that this issue needs to be talked about, but people ignore it. Why? Because they think either it's too controversial, or it's uncomfortable, it's unconventional, it's gonna ruffle feathers, it's gonna yank some change, it's gonna boil someone's blood. So let's just avoid it. Let's not talk about it. That is what is known as the elephant in the room. So let me ask you then, guys, today, what was the elephant in the room today? Could you tell me in the comments below? If you tell me in the comments, I will highlight your post. I will highlight it. Oh, this is hilarious. This is so funny. George Chaps says this, guys. This is George Chaps here. George Chaps says, Mr. Mwewa, we all know he was invited, but he just chose to be a nuisance. Is that what happened? Guys, this is the elephant in the room. Here it is. You have and guys, of course, the nation is in mourning, but I've taken a completely different twist on this thing, on Dr. Kaunda's funeral. I'm not sad today, honestly, really. And I've explained why. I believe that Dr. Kaunda led his life. He lived a full life in full service to this nation. And so for me, today is a culmination of all of his efforts today. And so when I look back at Dr. Kaunda's life, I'm not sad, I'm not despondent, I'm not heavy laden. I'm not. I'm happy. I'm happy because I celebrate Dr. Kaunda's life. Today should be a celebration of his life. It shouldn't be a moment of sadness, a moment of bewilderment. No, man. It should be a moment where each and every single solitary Zambian looks back at the legacy of Dr. Kaunda and asks themselves, what have we learned from this giant, this democratic leviathan of democracy? What have we learned from him? I'll tell you what I learned. I learned very early on. When I was a kid, I'm 51 years old. It's actually 52, but no one's counting, okay? I learned very easily that we are one people. I mean, growing up, I didn't really hear about tribes. I mean, yeah, tribe was there, but it wasn't front and center. What was front to us, the citizenry? Of course, looking back now, I think that within the higher echelons of the corridors of power, tribe was something that they were trying to grapple with and deal with. And they were, the one phrase I did remember was tribal balancing. I heard that word before I knew what it meant. But at the core, ultimately, when the dust settled and when the dew dried, we are, and at least we should still be one people. So the one thing I learned from, among many other things, from Dr. Kenneth Kaunda was one Zambia, one nation. And that's the one thing we should all look back on and glean from that. We should glean from that as a people. Let us not destroy that. Let us not obliterate that. Let us not do away with it simply because of the passing of a titan, because that's what he was. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda was a titan. He was an anchor. Don't listen, man. Don't make me start preaching up in here because I will throw down. Okay? So I basically said all of that to say this. For me, Dr. Kaunda's passing should be a moment of pause and a moment of celebration and appreciation for who he was and what he did for this country. So back to the topic at hand. I believe that today's funeral, oh goodness, you see there, I messed it up. I was supposed to put national, goodness. Somebody gonna rain on me for that. Get it right. Today's funeral was a national event, but it was turned into a partisan funeral. It shouldn't have been. Everybody should have been there. Everybody of note should have been there. And here's my observation. I believe that had the obvious players been invited, we wouldn't be talking about certain people not being invited. It's like that old saying. You know this, are you familiar with this old saying? Money isn't everything, but the lack of it is. Do you know what this means? First of all, let me tell you where I heard this. And I know when I start telling the story, this is the thing. When you start telling stories, especially when you're telling a story to a Zambian and you mention a foreign country, oh my goodness. You're just taking that opportunity to mention that you were there. So what do you want me to do? You want me to tell you that this happened in Kafue National Park? What, you want me to sit here and lie to you and say, this is where I first heard this, I was out in the middle of the bush, you know, and there were two orangutans walking behind me, and some man just walked over to me and told me this. You want me to say that? No, I'm not going to make it up. I'll tell you how it happened. Okay? This was many years ago, 20 years ago. I'm at a bus station in New Orleans, Louisiana. You know where New Orleans is? Some people say New Orleans, but when you say New Orleans, the natives know that you're not from there. If you're from there, you say New Orleans. Anyway, I'm at a bus station in New Orleans, Louisiana, 20 years ago. And I'm waiting for a bus to take me to Baton Rouge. And I'm standing there, and there's this old man sitting there, an old African-American man. We start talking, and we started talking about money. For some reason, I don't know how the subject of money came up, but anyway, it did. And then he turned to me and said, well, son, I've lived a long time, and the one thing I've learned is that money isn't everything, but the lack of it is. And then he went on to say, it's better to have it and not need it rather than need it and not have it. Now, the reason I've said this is because I'm tethering it to today's event. Let me be clear. When you have money, money is not an issue. In the same vein, had the people who were supposed to be invited to today's funeral, had they been invited, it wouldn't have been an issue. But because they were not invited, it's become an issue. Are you getting this? Did I use this I think I used this as a good example. Are you getting the logic? Are you grasping my line of logic? When you have money, money is not the issue. It's like intimacy in a marriage, for those of you that are married. When you are intimate with your wife, and you know what I mean when I say that, intimacy is not a problem. But the moment you stop being intimate with your wife, that becomes the main problem. In the same vein, inviting members of the opposition to today's funeral, had they invited them, nobody would have been talking about this. It was just, oh, there's so-and-so. Oh, but because certain people were not allowed to go there or were not invited, boom, it becomes an issue. Why? And it shouldn't be. So my point is this. I think the guys that are tasked, the guys that were coordinating this event, dropped the ball. Hello? You dropped the ball on this. And then we started hearing, because you know how social media is. Social media is like it's like a jungle. And it's like everything has legs and it just walks all over the place. You hear this, that, and the other. And then now we started hearing that no, in actuality, there was an invitation. It was lost, but now it's been found. Damage control, unnecessary damage control. Had you guys that are tasked, because I would imagine there's an office that dealt with the invitations. I would imagine that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not part of the high echelons of government society. I wouldn't know. But from a layperson's point of view, I would imagine that there's a group of people who are in charge of that. And I would imagine that one of them was tasked with the job of making sure that invitations went out. Whoever that was that didn't do their job, they dropped the ball. And because they dropped the ball, it's become an issue. Guys, let me close by saying this. I've been speaking for 24 minutes. That's a long time. I think it's sad that foreign dignitaries, foreign presidents were present today and other notable Zambians were not. I think that's sad. That ought not to be so. Like the Apostle Paul said, that should not be named among us. I mean, it doesn't make sense, guys. Goodness. Well, you've got the president of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. He's here. You've got the president of Kenya. He's here. You've got the president of Malawi, bless his heart. He's here. You've got all these foreigners, and thank God for them. We love them, and they're supposed to be here, and we thank goodness that they're here. But here it is. You've got these foreign heads of state that are present, and yet you've got other notable indigenous Zambians that are not present. That, to me, is off kilter. You know the word off kilter? It means off balance. It ought not to be so. Am I overreacting? Tell me in the comments below. Give me a few comments. Sometimes you are just alone. Huh? You are not sharing the same opinion as the people out there. You are alone. So tell me, am I overreacting? Am I overanalyzing? Am I overdoing it? Am I reading too much into it? Goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Swimmer Banda says you are overreacting. But here's the counterpunch though. Ms. K says you are not. So hey, it's 50-50, I guess. You know, I really just wanted to come here and share this with you. And this is the great thing about vlogging. You know, if you have an opinion, I just turn on my lights. I got my camera here. I mean, my phone, what do you call this? Microphone. And boom, I give my opinion. That's it. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Goodness. All righty. Cynthia Wadia says, you are on point. Well, thank you. Bless your heart. Bless you. All right, guys, I got to go. That was my opinion. God bless you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to hang out with me here on SML TV. Bars! I'm in the wrong profession, guys. I shouldn't be here. I should be on the road somewhere, making money, doing this. But instead, I'm stuck here with tenants, bus drivers, kadas. I'm a mess. I need to stop. God bless, guys. Love you.